enlightening. I remember being interested in psychedelics in relation to the questions that concerned me regarding consciousness. And I had the privilege of taking an independent study in philosophy course. I had to do a lot of the arrangement. I had to kind of do it myself. It was a huge struggle. I got a professor from NYU Gallatin who was teaching over there. He was teaching shamanism. I connected with my philosophy of mind professor from NYU Shanghai. And collectively we used to have recitations that were tackling basically questions concerning philosophy of mind and psychedelics. So it was kind of crowdsourcing content from the Minds and Machines class into my independent study recitation. I think it just opened to me absolutely and utterly the horizon of possibility that there is to the kind of questions that we can ask academically and just otherwise just philosophically. I just realized that there is immense value to bringing in and delving into literature in a manner that is, that is directed towards inquiry. Everything that you're learning in class is not taken for granted. There's always another angle of looking at things. So for example, I can look at things, how things can be different politically, how things can be different anthropologically. It's those courses or those projects that give me a lens to look at the world from, and that lens keeps coming up every time you look around at everything.
Transformative. When I had a course called Machine Learning for Artists and Designers, I came into that class not knowing what machine learning is. And at the end of the day, I was able to create this project where I was able to implement my creative coding skills I learned from Creative Coding Lab, and my fabrication skills I learned from digital fabrication. I used my basic circuit making skills that I got from interactive fashion, and combine all of that into making this one project that a lot of people ended up really finding interesting because of all the experiences that I've had so far with the courses, with interactions with my peers, and also interactions with my professors and other faculty members. I feel like it encouraged me to be more self-confident. I no longer feel doubtful about what I can or cannot achieve. Whatever ideas that I want to pursue or what I envision, I can turn it into a reality and explore that idea and conduct the project itself, whatever it is, because I have the skills, I have the knowledge, and also I have the people around me that I can communicate with and seek guidance from. Challenging? When I first started my course with honors calculus and honors linear algebra, because I think it's honors level math course. It's absolutely somehow difficult. I really love the part of the office hour of my professor. It was the first time that I encountered such high-level mathematical content, but my professor was really open to any kind of discussion, no matter what kind of problems I have. That kind of final outcome, the success or failure, doesn't really matter that much to me at this point. What values more is this process, whether I have put in all of my efforts, I have put in a lot of passion, and I engaged with this process, and I learned, I evolved. I can really utilize my math and coding skills that I have been trained for the past 4 years to explore something new and something interesting that has never been explored in Chinese market.
Collaborative. Last semester we had a really good GPS recitation, and my professor teach us in a very creative and interactive way. So he like opened a big space for us to discuss, and every lesson is begin with our student discussion, and the teacher and student should cooperate together to make that learning process more successful. But I feel the process of questioning and reflecting is very rewarding. Impactful education or teaching is like not only about like delivering knowledge and like transferring the terms or the things we need to learn. It's also about like providing new perspective and providing a chance for us to reflect on our thoughts.
Relevant. Learning that transformed the way I think or perceive the world to some extent. I think it would be a learning experience that led me to believe in something surprising that I didn't know before the class, or that I perceive as something that I wouldn't have learned on my own. I was taking this class and it was a lot of it was new for me because it was basically looking at different AI tools from a business perspective, which, as I mentioned, I'm an IMA major, so it was new for me. And because of how appealing it was, in a sense that I saw how it would actually benefit me, like knowing how to research these things in this way and presenting this information in a concise, manner. It was at some point we had to present like a 5-minute presentation about the things that we researched throughout the whole semester. That was very challenging. But I really saw how that could apply to my future career, and that way I had like a lot of motivation to, I think, work overtime on that project.
Applied. Microeconomics is the type of class that so many people have to take in university, but what made this class unique was that when we came in, the professor took out the textbook and he took out the slides and he was like, yes, you can look at the slides, you can read the textbook, but this isn't really how the world works, like you're never gonna encounter these formulas or these models because they exist and they only work within an exam or a quiz or a homework, but in real life, you're never gonna encounter them again. Taking away something from a class goes beyond trying to pass a test for it. Everything you learn throughout every single class creates that big picture that ultimately is what NYU Shanghai gives you, it gives you a complete education. That feeling of puzzlement, that feeling of not understanding, of, okay, I know where I should be, but it's not quite clear and I'm walking through like a misty room. It's okay not understanding something. It's okay feeling lost, and part of the fun of college and part of the fun of learning is going to office hours, talking to your professor, talking to your fellow classmates, and figuring something out talking by, not relying on someone to give you the answers, but actually sitting down and trying to make everything fit. Impactful learning is the type of learning that shifts your status quo and makes you change the way that you used to do things, and it kind of pushes you to do things in a new way, whether it be studying using a new method or approaching writing or mathematics through a new lens. Impactful is the type of thing that says, okay, maybe you've been doing things a certain way, but there's a different way of approaching it.